Hello everyone. And the intro didn't play. So I'm going to go ahead and play our intro because I love it. Let's do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lioness Lifestyle Live, where real women talk about real healing. I'm Ellie, and I'm so excited to be here with my co-hosts, Cristie and Adrian, as always. This isn't just a show about food. It's about what happens when you start to heal. And these roundtable conversations explore how better health reshapes every part of our lives, from how we parent to how we see beauty, how we might be struggling. So we want to be passionate in guiding you through those struggles, offer support, and share real stories that show you it's possible to create a life that feels better no matter where you're starting from.
Thanks, Ellie. I am Cristie. My channel is Meeting Wellness. And hey, we changed up the intro, but I don't care. It's still nice to meet with all of you this evening. But over here, we're not just sharing diet tips. We're also getting real about how just healing our bodies changes everything. So we're here to bring you real, unfiltered conversations about life and about healing. It's more than just what we eat. It's about building connections, doing good for our community, and breaking down the barriers that can keep us from living fully.
And I'm Adrian. You can find me at Adrian K. Gledhill here on YouTube. Life can get complicated, and healing is never a straight line. It's about finding peace within yourself and understanding that healing doesn't come in a one-size-fits-all package. It's so important to know that no matter your circumstances, no matter where you've been, life can get better. Together, we can build a supportive space where we're not just healing individually, but we're lifting each other up along the way.
Well, you guys, every week about this time, we do something that we call our Roar of the Week, where we shout out a comment from last week's show. And this week is no different. So here comes our Roar of the Week. And here it is from last week's show. No Carb Barb, you are this week's Roar of the Week. And No Carb Barb said JJ was an amazing guest, and there were multiple pixel sightings. Hated that I was out of town and had to miss. Great show. Roar. So thank you so much. If you would like to be next week's Roar of the Week, drop us a comment. Even sometimes during the live stream, we'll screenshot those if we find a good one. Or after the show, if you're watching the replay down below, leave us a comment. We would love to shout out one of you on next week's show.
Fantastic. Thank you, Cristie. Okay, so I came up with this topic. I thought it would be interesting to talk about how diet culture has shaped what we thought beauty was, or unlearning harmful diet culture. I think a lot of us start off trying to get healthy, maybe for a vanity reason. I sure did. I didn't want to be obese anymore, and I didn't want to feel ugly anymore and hate myself. So we're going to talk about something that this is like really close to our hearts. I feel like, I think all our stories are a little bit different, but the root is the same, right? And so let's talk about how healing our body has shaped the way we see beauty, not just on the outside, from within. And let's get real, let's get honest. And so I guess I'll start with the first question, and I'll throw it over to Cristie. When did you first learn that being smaller or thinner, or like more controlled with your eating, was beautiful?
Okay, I love this question so much, Ellie. I'm going to be honest with you. Ellie sent over a list of potential questions that we might talk about, and I didn't get very far. I don't know what the whole list says, because I read that first question and I was like, my brain just went off. So I could honestly probably talk the rest of the hour about, my history with this. But I'm going to start by saying, I think today, it's like social media influence and that kind of thing. But this is my little old lady voice. Back in my day, back in my day, there wasn't social media at all. And by the time I was in high school, actually by 7th grade, I had moved to an extremely small town. We're talking a couple thousand people tops. There was no social media. There was just a few other girls my age, you know, in high school. And I can tell you that as soon as I got to that stage, I participated in all the things that were there at school to participate in. I think similar to Adrian, she did all the things, the sports and things. I was always doing some sport. Volleyball was my favorite, but when it was basketball season, I played basketball, and later I did, dance team and some cheer. So I did a lot of things because when you're at a small school like that, they kind of need everybody to do all the things so they can even have those kinds of teams, right? And I mean, the second that I got on those teams, the girls, myself and the other girls were comparing ourselves against everyone else. And, some of us were mean, and it was like we would talk about the other girls like, oh, that girl's fat, or like, I'm fat. No, you're not fat. We're fat. They're fat. It's all about who's fat, who's not fat. And that conversation just began. I don't remember it like in 7th or maybe starting up in like 8th grade, 9th grade. You guys, I found a picture. Okay. I know Adrian hasn't. I don't know if you looked at our group chat, Adrian. Okay. She hasn't. So she hasn't seen this yet. Okay. So this is me in about 1988. Please ignore the perm, okay? Playing volleyball. It's also a picture of a picture because this was taken on real film. And so I had to take a picture of this picture, okay? So here I am, right in the middle there, looking up at the ceiling. There was probably a ball up there. I don't know. I was looking at the ceiling, okay? Right in the middle of that picture, you guys, I legit thought I was fat in that picture. Okay? So that's freshman year of high school or so.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, not at all. I look at it now objectively, like I wish my legs still looked like that, I thought I was fat. Why? Because we were all talking about each other's bodies and comparing ourselves to each other, and it wasn't on social media, and my mom did not let me buy like women's magazines or anything like that because she didn't want me influenced by that stuff. And I definitely was not the kid. I did not have, I wasn't overweight, but I also was not the kid whose parents told me, don't eat that, you need to like, whatever. I did have friends whose parents put them on diets and things like that. My parents never did that. My mom was perpetually on a diet, and I don't think she knew that I knew, but I knew, but she didn't put that on me. She didn't say, don't have that bowl of ice cream. It's going to go straight to your thighs. Like, she never said anything like that to me at all. Neither one of my parents. However, even in a small town, even with just a few, girls around me, I think it's something in many of our female heads. And then when you put us together at that age, and in the moment, it didn't seem abnormal or bad. I didn't reflect on it and say, maybe we shouldn't be, this isn't a positive self-image. Like, no, not at all. Right. It was just, we all kind of thought we were fat, and we were just comparing ourselves to each other. And even when I moved away from that town, so I did not finish high school at that high school where you just saw me in that picture. So even when I moved to another town in a totally other city, totally other county, I just took that right with me, and it was really just kind of more of the same. So that's where it started for me, is getting together with my girlfriends in sports. And things at high school activities. But it really came out, believe it or not, in those of us that played sports more than anywhere else. It wasn't when we were trying on dresses for the dance. It wasn't it was when we were ordering our cheer uniforms and like, what size are you getting? Oh my gosh, you're a size 9. You're huge. Right. I'm a size 3, like that. So that's where it started. And I don't think that mentality is completely gone from my head. It's gotten better in the last 2 years as I've learned about what it means to be healthy and, all of that stuff, which I know that's not this question. But so I'm 49 now. And some of that is still kind of stuck in my head because it got in there at such a young age. And now that's my 2 cents. I'm going to kick it over to you, Adrian. Thoughts?
Okay. So my answer initially is insanely sad, and I'm sorry. I had 2 sisters, and so it started for me around 4 years old, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So everything was a hand-me-down or a rummage sale, and they could never find clothes that fit me. So it was constantly like, we got to put Adrian on a diet starting at like 4 years old. And also nothing fits me. And it's easy to compare. I've got these 2 skinny sisters who are eating all kinds of crap, and they're skinny and they're cute and they fit everything. And I don't fit anything. So that's my first thing. Now I'm going to throw a little devil's advocate in there and just say, and there's nuance to this. So today, I don't think we necessarily get to pick. We can put all the work we want into it, and our hormones are currently fighting us. And I believe it's environmental damage that's causing these hormones to be so disrupted that it doesn't matter how hard we swim, we just can't get to the top of the river. But previously, and in other countries, like, we've swung the other way, where now it's like, hell with it, accept your body the way it is. And people like go to the grocery store in slippers and a Bessie bun, and they look like, I did it this morning. I left the house, and when I saw some people, because I didn't mean to, but I locked myself out of my house and I had to go to my landlord to get a key, and she looked at me like, but that's totally acceptable these days, is like to not take care, like we've swung the other way. And on the other hand, this is all over the place, I'm sorry, but looking back too at them starting me on a diet so young and giving me highly addictive foods and telling me to moderate them, like spaghetti, bread with butter, orange juice. That was like our main meals, potatoes, and then telling me, this little 4 or 5-year-old, that I need to moderate these foods. So that's my 2 things is that's really sad. And I think that I hope that the message is changing these days with our kids, that there's actually something up and that they need hormone assistance or something. It cannot just be tell your child there's something wrong with them, they're less than, and they just need to diet and exercise, because that is horrible. That'll screw them up for the rest of their life. So please don't do that. And then B, I hope we can get to a place where we stop disrupting our bodies so much, and that the work we do actually works, so that we can start being a society that feels better about ourselves and the way we look.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing, both of you. I know this is kind of like a touchy subject, and maybe people don't want to look into the past and think about why they have self-esteem issues or why they didn't like their body growing up. And so, like, first learning that one particular body size, and it's not even healthy, like, I don't think any of us are advocating for obesity. We're not saying we're not body positivity, at least I'm speaking for myself, supporters. I think that we need healthy bodies, right? And that can in fact look different for everybody, but smaller and thinner was definitely on my radar as well. And I was skinny and thin. And yet, because later on, turning 35, I learned I have lipedema. And so fat accumulates in my legs and it just won't go away. So my legs always look different. And I've always, I was just telling Cristie before the show that I was jealous of her kid legs. I was like, wow, you have nice kid legs, because
I'm jealous of my kid legs too.
I know, right? Yeah. So I remember, I think it really does start in the locker room when you're like I didn't do sports. I'm very not coordinated at all. I was in chorus and that was about it. And on the computer, that was what I did. But when I had to go to PE and dragging my feet going over there, I would like look and see whose breasts were bigger, or, like what size clothes. Girls just talk about it, like beauty products and where did you buy that? Like, are you wearing the trends? And all those like kind of like really negative, unfortunately very toxic conversations that just, if you're not fitting in, you're ostracized like immediately. And so I got made fun of a lot, even though I don't really think, looking back, I was like, I was actually pretty cute. I don't know what was wrong with them. But anyway, so yeah, I think that's a great start to our conversation. And so I would love, so like, did you, like, what was your relationship like with that body before, like, finding healing now with whatever you're doing? How about you start, Cristie?
Yeah. So I pretty much thought I was, fat, but at that stage when that picture was taken, I didn't really do anything about it. I wasn't to that, diet phase or starving myself. But it wasn't very long after that I started to develop what I've called almost my whole life cellulite. But I don't know if it's just cellulite, because I'm telling you, it covers the whole back of my leg. And it's not just like a couple little, it's like the whole thing. There's like not a smooth spot to be found. So I think it might be a little lipedema. I don't really know. It's more than just cellulite, because I've seen other girls' legs and I could be like, that's cellulite. And mine just seems more extreme than that. I don't know. Anyways, it started to develop maybe a year or two after that picture. And it was then that I really started to dislike my own body. And I just thought, okay, well, that's fat. So I just need to lose weight. And then that bumpy stuff will go away. And that's when, all I knew about losing weight was eat less and move more. That's all I'd heard from anyone my whole life. I didn't know about any kind of low carb. I didn't know about carbs really at all. That they were maybe causing the problem or anything like that. And high fat, high protein. I didn't know any of that stuff. I just knew eat less and move more. And so, yeah, that's when I started, restricting. And I was a little older in high school, so my mom wasn't watching me as closely. I also have two little brothers. And the middle child in my family, my middle brother, he's all good now, but he was for sure the troublemaker. So they had their hands full. So they weren't looking at me. They were not looking at me. I had straight A's. I had over a 4.0 GPA. I was college bound. They were not looking at me. So I could get away with eating, a half a banana in the morning and maybe a little chicken breast at night and no lunch, because whatever. I could get away with doing that. If my mom would have known that I was doing that, I'm sure she would have encouraged me to eat. But not once did she say anything about my food. So yeah, I started heavily restricting to try to lose that weight. But no matter how thin I got, the bumpy thighs were still there. And also no matter how thin I got, it was never enough. Like in my mind, I would have a weight, like if I could only weigh, I'm just gonna diet until I get down to X pounds. And then I'd get down to that weight. And then I was like, yeah, still too fat. And then I would go lower and lower and lower. And so it was super, super unhealthy. And then in between that, I would binge, eating heavily junk food for several months. And then my weight would go back up, and then back down, up and down and up and down. I didn't do tons of exercising once I was done with high school sports, especially in college, because to keep my scholarship, I needed to keep my GPA, and I was working 3 jobs at the same time and going to school 16 to 18 units per semester. Because my parents couldn't afford to pay for any of it. So I paid for all of it myself. So I wasn't doing a ton of exercise, but even then I would have this moment of like the block that my college was on. There was actually a junior college and then my university, like on that same block. So it was a big block. It was like 2 miles if you went all the way around it. So there were times where I would like just randomly on a wild hair, like I ate, fill in the blank, bad thing. In my mind, bad thing. So I punished myself by doing that 2-mile loop or whatever. I definitely had those moments when I could find the time to do that. So I definitely punished myself for, weighing too much and having bumpy thighs, by restricting and occasionally over exercising. And but then kind of rebelling against my own rules by binging until I was ruled by the scale too. So when the scale said a certain number, it was time to start restricting again. And even when I learned about low carb, which was at some point in college, I didn't really do it right. I didn't read any books. It was the same thing, just with different, I guess, macros, even though I would never tracked them at that time. It was just, instead of eating a half a banana, it was okay, a cheese stick, for my restricting, so that I could now be low carb. So I was not nice to myself. My internal dialogue was horrible. I don't think I thought a positive thought about the way that I looked. Maybe ever. It was very negative. Very negative. in terms of my body image, anything to do with my looks. Yeah. So I was not nice to myself as soon as I, like I said, as soon as that, oh, look, pixel sighting. As soon as that, little lumpy, bumpy thighs started to come on, it was like, that was it. That was it for me. And I saw other girls with smooth legs and compared myself to them. Right. And would try all of these things to try to make that stuff go away. Really to no avail. There it is, button pusher. Thank you for the pixel sighting.
It was Adrian. Thank her.
Oh, thanks, Adrian. Speaking of Adrian, I'll stop my get off my soapbox and let you answer that question.
You're muted. Uh-oh. I can't hear you. Okay, come on back. We'll miss you.
Yeah, so you answer Ellie, and then if she comes back, we'll catch your answer.
Yeah, I think that my relationship with my body before finding healing with my diet, like currently, oh yeah, it was, I think I gained like 10 pounds every year. And so at first it didn't seem like a lot, because I was getting taller and I was growing and it wasn't a big deal, even though I was eating at least twice or 3 times the serving of every meal. I always finished my plate. I always wanted dessert afterwards. And I felt like the volume of food just kept growing and growing and growing. And then eventually I like wake up one day and I'm morbidly obese. And it was a lot of things, it was the fast food and it was coffee and it was working at a bakery instead of throwing food. I've told Cristie this before, like instead of throwing away food when it went bad, I would just like eat it in the back. So definitely didn't care about my body, right? Because if I cared about my body, I would probably at least try to eat 3 meals a day and like eat for nourishment, at least a little bit. But it was mostly just emotional, like putting band-aids on all the things that, like the depression and the anxiety and the panic attacks, which happened and started becoming regular when I was morbidly obese. But yeah, with my body, I always just compared it to other girls, and I started like I tried to, follow the trends, and I tried, do you guys remember, if you're a millennial, like the tiny jean skirts and Ugg boots? I didn't have Ugg boots, but I definitely wore the jean skirts. Yeah. And so I tried to follow the trends. I tried to do my makeup, tried to do my hair, and I tried to be pretty, and I tried to, fit in. I didn't like, like this is just like a silly thing, but it's like everybody was having celebrity crushes and I had no opinion on that whatsoever. So I would just make up like a crush and be like, oh, that's my crush, because I really did not find, ever since at a young age, I never found value in gossiping. I never found value in making fun of people, because it would hurt me so bad when the boys would make fun of me or the girls would, have a snide remark. There was one time a girl came up to me in school and she was like, I'll do your makeup for you. And she just like completely, and I trusted her, and she just completely gave me like, like the thickest, darkest, like it just was not, an act of goodwill. It was, I'm going to make fun of you. So yeah, my face and my body, it always was something I just tried to squeeze into trends and just kind of get by. And then I couldn't do that anymore because, well, my hips and my butt were like bigger than the rings on Saturn. So, it's just like, I mean, at that point, it's like when you take pictures, I'm bending my knees and I'm trying to pop my hip out and like go sideways, like pretend like I'm a lion, just to try and minimize any kind of outward widening of my body. And so, yeah. And then I started eating right. And I started feeling better. And I started, noticing inches were coming off. And it wasn't all about the number on the scale. And I was really quite surprised with how well my body started to just like age in reverse when I started eating better. And so it definitely improved my relationship with my body and made me feel more confident. And it made me like go, oh, you know what? Maybe I want to like not follow trends, and I want to dress the way I want to dress, and I want to showcase my, and be more modest, and things like that. So that is definitely been beneficial. Should we wait for Adrian to come
Actually,
back?
while we wait for Adrian, I thought this was an interesting comment from Nia. So she said, the body trends definitely seem to shift. When I was growing up, it was rail thin was in, or a very lean athletic body. And now it seems like BBLs and other body mod is the norm. It's kind of crazy. So I feel like this has benefited me as the trend has shifted to that other thing. But yes, when I was young, it was very rail thin. Like the thinner, the better. You didn't want to have a butt at all or anything like that. And I'm pear shaped, y'all. So all I have is a butt. If I have an asset, I said asset. Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Good one. That was a good one. That was a knee slapper.
And so, but that wasn't cool. I was just big. And now I've gotten compliments on it, Ellie.
I know you have.
I have.
You're nice. I've been told that people pay for my butt, and I'm like, yeah, well, if they're dumb, that's a bad investment.
But here's the thing is that living by those trends, I love what you said about maybe I'm not going to follow the trends now. Maybe I'm going to dress how I want to dress. You mentioned being more modest or whatever. Like the trend is going to shift again. We can't just be, our body is our body, and we can't just be, the older I get, the less I really care about the trend, that's in. I will say though, when I got the compliment, that does feel good on the one side for something that I've been sort of made fun of or told was too fat, or if you just did a few squats or you just did a few leg lifts, your body would be perfect. Like I've been told that. And so that was kind of cool, but also I know you can't just live by the trends. The trends are going to change, and your body shape is kind of your body shape. So, I'm glad that as I've gotten older, I'm less driven by that stuff. Honestly, now when you're 13, 14, 15 years old, what your friends think, you're kind of drawn into that world, right? And I still have peers, same age peers in our 50s, let's say. And they have their opinions and I have mine, and I'm not like, I can stand on my own 2 feet. So that is one thing about growing older and hopefully wiser, that you're not just kind of sucked into that world and what's around you. You kind of go with the way the wind is blowing, with who's around you and what's around you.
Yeah, that's so well said. I'm so glad you shared that. Nia's coming up with like these great topics, unlearning harmful beauty standards. Scariest thing to me is having a little girl in this world, in the world of filters and AI. We have no idea how that's going to mess with kids. Yeah, Cristie's a teacher, so she definitely knows. But my husband works at a school too, and just being online and seeing kids having social media, it really does warp their sense of identity, and in levels I don't even think we know. I think it's just going to be astronomical, and I feel like even with because of the social media presence, like everybody is trying to look the same instead of embracing their beauty. Hey, Adrian, welcome back. We were kind of jumping all over the place because Nia had some pretty cool comments, but what would you rather talk about? Would you rather talk about what was your relationship before your body, before finding your healing now? Or would you rather talk about like beauty standards changing and how people used to be real thin and now everyone wants a big booty?
I'll go with the relationship. So
yeah.
I hated my body so much that thank God in the 90s when you played basketball, it was cool to put a t-shirt underneath your jersey. Did you guys do that too with the sleeves? Yeah. So thank God, because I didn't want to show my arms. And And if I'm going to be honest, I didn't realize this is what I was thinking until The Biggest Loser, that I thought that I was less than, I thought I was unlovable. I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought if I could just fix this one thing, because, it was just so ingrained in all of us that it was a character defect to be overweight. It was a self-inflicted laziness type of thing. And so I just thought if I could just fix that, I would be happier, I'd be lovable, I'd be a better person. So what was cool about The Biggest Loser was getting to experience losing some weight and then realizing I'm the same exact person, and whether or not I'm lovable is way more in here than it is anywhere else. And then realizing the thoughts about myself too, and then further on, so 10 years later, going into a 12-step program, I learned that really, really embrace digging into being a creation of God, and that we are all lovable. We are all the way we're supposed to be, and exactly the way we are. God loves us, and just really embracing that and realizing that I am lovable no matter what I look like. And so I feel like I'm in a much better place. Do I look in the mirror and pick apart things and don't even realize that I'm probably doing that? Probably. But there's a lot more. Like, I don't walk around with this cloud over my head anymore, thinking constantly of how people would just love me or like me or respect me if I finally, and really I meant myself. Maybe I would love, respect, and listen to myself if I accomplished this physical goal. So I'm grateful to be in a different place.
Amen. Amen to all that. Beautiful. Okay. So before we go into a new topic, is there anything that you would like to bring up or want to share or talk about?
I really do. I really want to bring up the fact that Salty's new flavor is blue slushy, and everybody should buy it. It's really good. And like, it's 90 outside right now, and I feel like I'm drinking a blue slushy, and it's just on water. And I'm sorry. I mean, if you want a discount code, like, there's 100 of them, but you could find one on my site if you want, or go to anybody else's. But I got to tell you, if you are a sensitive person and a person who struggles with your weight, the other ones are loaded with maltodextrin and citric acid, and this doesn't have either. So I'm just saying, the new flavor is just a smash. That's my piece.
I never drank slushies growing up. I was like, that just looks gross. I was more of an ice cream girl. I loved ice cream.
It has no artificial color in it, so it is clear. That I was kind of disappointed. Like, could we throw some blueberry powder in there or something so we could have the blue? But it's delicious.
That's awesome.
I was with you, Ellie. I was never a big slushy girl. Yeah. No.
Yeah, if you go to the movie or like a gas station or something, it was usually like a Sprite.
Oh, I feel the nostalgia just talking about it.
They're definitely a part of American culture. Like a big gulp. Isn't that what they're called? Like, you go to a gas station and get like a big gulp. It's totally
But it's summer and it's so hot, and you go and you get that icy. I would actually get an ice shaver and pour this over it just to feel like, oh, I finally got to have it. Because, if you go to like the stand, you're drinking all kinds of chemicals. Yeah. Even if you get the sugar-free one, it's still full of chemicals. So, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. It's so good. It just came up today at noon.
Didn't she?
I'm totally fine with that. I love these chats where we just like talk whatever's in our hearts or in our heads or whatever's right in front of us. I have a cup of coffee that's been sitting here since this morning. I need it. Isn't that fun?
My dinner's sitting right here, but I heard it was rude to eat on camera.
I don't care.
Eat on camera. I ate already. I'll give everyone 3 guesses. No, you only need 1 guess what I had for dinner.
Here, I'll guess. Hold on.
Come on, button pusher. What I had for dinner.
I'm slow today. I'm sorry.
Since we're having a candid conversation.
And there it is.
As I was leaving to try to get my mic to work, I was so close to hitting end again. And I was like, no, don't do it. I had to like hold my hand back from hitting end live for the 3rd time.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Even when I exited, I'm like, oh, did I screw it up? Because I really thought, yeah.
So I don't know if this really fits the topic, but this is something I want to say that's been part of my healing. Can I just share? So I used to, I had a bad day. I need a bowl of ice cream. Like, I had a bad day. I need fill in the blank, junk, whatever, right? I had a bad day. I deserve this because the bad day for sure wasn't my fault. Someone else did this to me. And so I deserve an ice cream because I'm not going to tell them that was mean. I'm going to go eat my feelings, right? And I did that a lot. So I don't do that anymore. And when I occasionally feel the urge to do that, I'll be like, no, silly, that's that's emotional eating. You don't need to do that. It's weird. And I don't tell myself, it just, that's what pops into my head. There was one day, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I can't even remember what happened. It was a few weeks ago. But I had brought, usually I just bring eggs or picanha for lunch, but occasionally I'll bring some cheese. So I had brought some cheese and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened at work. Probably something with my boss, because it's when something is with her, that's when it's all kinds of, I'm not happy. Okay. And I, with full intention, so I made, it was a conscious decision. I said, I have cheese and I'm going to go emotionally eat it. And I'm going to go do that right now.
You were conscious of it. You're like, I'm consciously doing it.
I feel like dog doo-doo and I have a piece of cheese and I'm choosing to not wait until lunch to eat it. I'm going to eat it right now. And that's the one time I've emotionally eaten on carnivore. But it was with full, I told myself, I'm just going to eat that cheese because I feel like crap. And I'm giving myself permission to do it. I think I told someone in the hall, I'm emotionally eating this cheese.
That's amazing. I love that so much. Yeah, emotional eating is definitely one of my buddies that it's like a toxic friend. It just, ugh. Why don't we get back on topic though? Right? Should we? Does everyone want to keep talking about this? I mean, we did talk about it for 30 minutes, so I'm cool with whatever. I guess one of the prompts was so since we're unlearning what was it? Harmful diet culture, right? How is your skincare or beauty standards with that? Do you wear makeup anymore? Do you have to always look your best? I mean, obviously Adrian was sharing earlier, she met her landlord not looking, what did you say? Pajamification of America, Cristie?
The pajamification of America is a real thing. I don't care if Karen makes fun of my English. Okay. It's a word now. I said it. Kids come to school full on in PJ. It's not pajama day. They're just in their PJs with their slippers, and that's how they come to school. And they'll have a blanket. They're wrapped in a blanket.
What? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying the pajamification of America is a real thing. But anyway, I've seen it. I just thought of that because Adrian said in the grocery store, people go, or parents walk into the school office in their full on pajamas, bedhead, walk into the office like that.
Yeah, I saw at Walmart, I saw a man in a Cookie Monster onesie. That was interesting.
Wow.
At least he was wearing clothes.
True. Anyway, to our point, beauty, what were we talking about, Ellie? Beauty standards. You feel like you have to get dressed up for everything, makeup, that kind of thing. Okay. Well, I used to have I would definitely do my hair every day, either flat iron or curl it every day. And I would definitely put on makeup, not on the weekends if I wasn't going somewhere. So if I was staying home, I wouldn't. But if I was going to work, I for sure never went to work without makeup. And if I was heading, even on the weekend, if I was going to the grocery store, I would put on makeup. If I was going to family's house, I would put on makeup. If I had a hair appointment, I would put on makeup. So if I was leaving the house, I was putting on makeup. I had no concept that makeup could have toxic ingredients at all. Or shampoo or soap or any of those things. So I just used, the drugstore, whatever brand that was probably all full of toxic stuff that I had no idea. And I didn't really know any better until going carnivore. And then you sort of go down this rabbit hole and you start hearing, as you're watching these things, someone will say something and it'll prompt you to watch another video. Ellie, who was the guest we had on Lioness, she was like the queen. She knew all about that. It was the one that where Adrian pushed a stop in the middle of the live stream. Who was that lady? She was fabulous.
Something.
Yes. Her. Anyway, and so I had heard about it before, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to invite her on the show. And so I did stop wearing makeup, not because of any reason other than they sent us to teach online. And I was like, okay, I'm not putting on makeup to teach online. And I just never, because we were just home. And then I just really haven't picked it up. I will occasionally once a year, like when I was a bridesmaid in my sister-in-law's wedding a couple years ago, I wore makeup because she had a lady doing everyone's makeup that was in the wedding party. So I wore makeup. So I'll occasionally wear it. I'm not anti-makeup. I still have a drawer full of it. I'd rather not. I value my time. So I enjoy that it takes me like 30 minutes or less to like shower and get ready to go somewhere, I still try to dress professionally. I will not wear my pajamas to work, even on pajama day. I won't do it. I just don't. Like some teachers do on pajama day. Teachers wear it. It's school spirit, whatever. I won't wear my pajamas to work. I'm not showing myself to my students in pajamas. Even pajamas I bought specially for pajama day that look nice and new and whatever. I don't do it. So I do have a line still. I haven't just gone completely over. I wear a lot of jeans, but if I'm working, they're like dark colored jeans or like professional slacks. I don't enjoy dresses and never have. So that really hasn't changed. So I do still dress professionally for work. Today, you might be like, what are you talking about? Today, it was because we're doing state testing. And I do more work on state testing days because we have to I get my steps. Let me tell you, I don't wear any kind of device, but yeah, we walk the rooms. I'm like up, down, I'm getting on their level because we can't talk loud. So I'm like on their level. I'm basically probably did 100 squats today just by getting all the way down on the floor to talk to a kid and then back up again. So I have comfier clothes on today, but normally I still try to do like professional dress for work, but I got rid of the makeup and I'm much more conscious. If I do use a product, it's usually tallow based at this point. Especially like my lip balm, because I put on lip balm several times a day. That's tallow based, and then my soap is now tallow based. I stopped using like the drugstore body wash for sure, and I try to buy healthier stuff for my kids. Like I've switched out from the cheap stuff, and it might not be perfect, but it's definitely better. What I'm getting for them and what I give them to use, just because I'm more aware of it. So I still haven't bought any like clean makeup just because I don't wear it enough. And now, so it's like what I have is what I have. If I buy more, I'll definitely, buy some cleaner stuff or whatever. But yeah, I feel like it's better. I think my skin actually looks better. And I've gotten compliments on my skin as I've been getting older because I don't put stuff all over it all the time. So I actually think that's been healthier for my skin, probably.
Hi. Okay, so it's bad enough that you eat on camera and then you get egg like stuck to the front of your tooth, so yellow teeth. Sorry. I do have a little beef with diet culture lately. A bit of beef. I don't know if that's what I'm allowed to bring up, but I'm going to bring it up. My beef is that there is this stigma, that the bigger you are, the lazier you are, the more you just can't get your life together. Some people in the space would call them dumpster fires, and I'm really, really tired of that kind of BS, because what I do love about carnivore is overall, a lot of people see an issue with people being overweight, not necessarily as them being lazy, but as them not processing foods well. And so in our community, we try to have some compassion and say, well, maybe if you switch to these foods, you'll start feeling better. But not everybody. A lot of people in the space still believe if you just try hard enough, you can overcome it. And I will say, I made it a full-time job for 1.5 years to do nothing but work out and eat meat. And I was barely treading. And every time I took a breath, I was like blooming up. So I don't know where that rant came from, but that is my current beef with the diet culture, is this idea that you can overcome a metabolic, actual physiological hormone miscommunication if you just work hard enough. And it's not true. It might be true for some people, especially men, but it's not true for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people are trying harder than people realize, because despite their great effort, they're struggling with their weight. Okay, I'm done with my rant.
No, I love your rant. Yeah, I'm struggling with my weight right now for sure. And that's okay. You know, I'm kind of coming to the realization that like food isn't really like number one anymore. Like it's not what health means to me. Like, I know that sounds so weird because I'm saying it weird. Like spending time with my family and praying and, you know, studying my Bible and reading a book and all those things. They're just feeling a little bit more important than just like obsessing about my weight and food right now. And I'm kind of just embracing this season of my life. However, like if it's a few weeks, if it's a few months, if it's a year or more, I don't know. But that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And I think that is okay. And it doesn't make me lazy. It means that I have other priorities. I have little ones. I have a husband and I'm maintaining a household and I'm relearning like how to live a day without being obsessed with social media, which I didn't do so great today, but just keeping it real. We said we were going to keep it real. Yeah, that's just kind of like my priority. So yeah, I mean, it kind of just sounds like bullying, Adrian, honestly. It's just like, you didn't do it enough, right? Like it works. Why aren't you perfect enough? And that we've talked about that before, but that's like my least favorite part of the health space and social media in general.
Hey, Nia has a really good question, and I think it really fits with our topic. So I'm going to pop it up here.
Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah. So she's like, and a serious question, because she did ask about yoga pants. Nia, I'll wear yoga pants when I do yoga or at home when I'm lounging. That's when I wear yoga pants. Okay. But for the serious question, do you still have body goals, weight, or fitness target? If so, how have those goals changed with your healthier view of yourself? So I still have goals personally. I don't really know if they're necessarily weight goals. I'm feeling pretty good. I actually like about like I'm back down under 140. I'm like 137, which is the lowest I've been in a while. And I didn't really do anything. I've just been anything different. I mean, just eating my 2 meals a day and just kind of trusting the process and honestly just enjoying to the best of my ability and more so as time has gone by. But enjoying the last couple of years of like not tracking and not obsessing about food and the fact that I can be this weight, which, you know, is not what I would consider ideal in my head, but is still allowing me to, like, I'm not ballooning up and my weight is kind of staying stable and I can just eat and be full and not worry about it. I've just kind of been enjoying that. At some point, maybe I'll kick myself in the butt. I don't know. I have started doing, after Ellie and I were chatting, I've started doing some just random squats and push-ups and things like I used to do when I first started. Just like when I wait for something to happen. So like when I'm waiting for the skillet to heat up for my son's breakfast, you know, I'll bust out some squats or some push-ups at that time. I'm kind of a natural multitasker. I don't just like to, I don't know, just wait for stuff to happen. So it's kind of cool when I'm waiting. It was a really good use of my time and I don't really know why I stopped. So I've reincorporated that. But as of right now, I still don't have any. I would like to, you know, incorporate more of the exercise, but I don't think I'm ever going to be that person that goes to the gym or whatever for a dedicated workout because I just get like bored and I just can't do it. But I can throw in the exercises, you know, as I'm kind of doing stuff. And I that's a goal right now, is to just kind of do that more so I don't lose, you know, muscle tone heading into my 50s. If I had a weight goal, I mean, I would like to be back down in the 120s. But I'm not that, I guess it's kind of a goal-ish, because a goal really should be, you have a goal and then you're going to take steps to get there. And I don't want to count right now, and I don't want to definitely don't want to restrict right now. So I just keep with my intermittent fasting window and that I've been doing. And then adding in these extra little exercises recently that I'd kind of not, for whatever reason, kind of stopped doing. So that's where I'm at with that. How about you, Adrian?
My goal, so I would so I have struggled with the 160s to the 330s for 20 years, right? So, and 160s being the lowest I ever got. Now recently I'm down in the 130s, the low 130s. So I would say the weight is great. So any goal physically I would have would be to get back in the gym and to build muscle. Now, my real focus right now is healing. My real focus is figuring out how to get better sleep. And I believe if I can get better sleep, that's going to reduce my inflammation. It's going to improve my hormones. It's going to improve my brain quality. It's going to improve everything. So right now, my goal is, that's why I just took, if you saw, I took a green pill. That's my progesterone. I've been taking some herbals to try to relax the body, as well as try to, like Ellie said, try to take more rest during the day. Today was very stressful with me locking myself out of my house and not having a cell phone all at the same time, that when I got inside the house, I decided it was going to be okay to slowly take a shower and rest until my appointment with the bank and just have a moment of stress free, even though I have 100 messages to respond to. I've got emails to respond to. My website has a couple issues. I should have created a reel. I should have done this and that and this and that and this and that. I took time and I rested. And when I went to soccer tonight with my boys, I didn't touch any social media, period. I didn't even record my boys to post on social media, So that is where I am at, is like, and then and I feel like I should, right, Cristie? I feel like I should be lifting right now. When is the best time to plant a tree? 10 years ago. But when I stress my body out too much with working out, it kicks back on me trying to heal, because my body's attacking itself pretty decently these days. And I tested positive for lupus antibodies. And when I work out, my whole body gets sore for 5 days. And so then it's like, and I have Hashimoto's and other autoimmune. And so even though working out should help you heal, I have to find the working out that's going to work with where my body's at right now and me trying to heal. So sorry, that was really long-winded. Ellie, how about you?
I feel like I kind of touched on it a little bit. And you weren't long-winded at all. I have a weight goal. Like, I want to fit back into my pants. Lions and lionesses, I'd like to just fit back in my pants. That'd be great. But my main goal, honestly, is just to monitor and maintain and make sure that my lipedema does not get worse. Because I do not want my mobility to be hindered. And number one priority is being mama and wifey. And I don't know why I said wifey, wife. And so it's like, I already have trouble walking as it is. Like, I have hypermobile knees and I've had damage to them. And so, like, I can't run. I can't walk very fast. And is that a goal, like a fitness goal, to be able to run? No, my fitness goal is just to be able to keep up. And I feel like I have been doing better. And like on Sunday, I didn't sit down all day, just cleaning and organizing and cooking and then cleaning up after the cooking. And that felt really good. And at the end of when I work my body, just being mom and maintainer of the home, and I lay down at night and my legs are killing me. Like, oh, why did you do all that? Right. I just feel a sigh of relief. And I'm just like, that was nice. Now, so that's kind of, and then for fitness, I do use a vibration plate. And so I've been like doing kind of like squats on it and like bending my knees. Like, I never bend my knees, guys. I don't know if you guys knew that about me. Like, I am always hyperextending my knees, just trying to compensate, because my butt and my thighs have always been so big. So That's fun. And have they changed with your healthy view of yourself? They're more or less the same, I feel like. Just now they're like there's more of an exclamation point because I gained a bit of weight after some trauma. So that's that. Is there any go ahead.
Can I share? I went and found Adrian's perm.
Yay!
And you see, I'm so much bigger than my little sister. And she's like 15 months younger than me. And I'm so much bigger than her. And then this is me in high school when I thought I was really fat. But I was still the 160s, 170s in high school. So back in the day, that was big. And this is my friend Tomomi Ishiguro from Japan.
That's awesome. I didn't bring any pictures.
Your perm is as awesome as mine was, Adrian. That was amazing.
I got a perm in middle school and at 6th grade, and everyone made fun of me. And I have naturally curly hair, by the way, which is, I don't know what my mom was thinking. But in 6th grade, everyone just made fun of me saying your hair smells bad because perms were not in 2002. 2002.
No, they were not.
My mom was like, you had such beautiful curly hair as a kid. We should give you a perm.
You know how the starter jackets were really cool? Well, after starter jackets were no longer cool, my dad bought me the off-brand and made me wear it for like 2 years.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Don't we love our parents?
You know, he was trying. I had the Miami Dolphins. I don't know which one you had, Cristie. You had to have had one.
I did not have one. No, I wore hand-me-down clothes when I lived with my parents because we didn't have any money. Yeah.
Fair. Now I want to dig through my photos real quick and find my perm, but we are out of time.
We're like out of time for you to dig through your photos. Just post it on our community tab
Okay.
after the show.
You should grab all three. Cristie, we need a perm from you too. And we need to like Photoshop it together.
Yeah.
The Lionesses in 1980. I mean 2000.
2002 if you're Ellie, but 1988 for me.
I was like 14. My mom made me get a perm. Oh, okay.
I can still smell it.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why we all have autoimmune conditions and I don't know, metabolic issues because of the freaking perms. Can you imagine there is evidence to suggest that hairdressers have a high rate of PCOS. That's why I stopped dyeing my hair. I mean, getting it once isn't the same as being a hairdresser that maybe dyes 3 heads a day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but that chemical exposure. So I'm in the midst of growing my natural hair out. Wow, this is really bad. Pretend like I didn't do that.
You didn't do that. Your hat's been on the whole time. Well, Ellie, do you have one question? Do we have like a lightning question that we could answer in the last couple of minutes? Because we're not spinning the wheel this week. I don't know if you do.
Okay, how about something real quick? What is something that made you happy this week? Go.
I mean, I gotta dig deep.
It was a bad week. I saw this picture today.
Somebody else start. I gotta think about it.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Shortly before this live, I posted a reel. And within 5 minutes, this has never happened to me before. Within 5 minutes, it hit 2,100 views.
Whoa.
That's never happened. So go check out my reels, you guys.
Yeah, and I see Josephine chiming in. So those of you that are watching live, put in the chat one thing that made you happy this week. I thought of one.
Tell us. I should
This
have
has
said
not
something
happened.
selfless, like family.
Okay. I got married way back in 1998. That's the year I got married.
The old days. No.
And so my husband called me on the phone yesterday because he said he wanted to hear my voice. And I think it's been years since he's done that. I cannot remember the last time that he's done that. But yesterday he called me from work because he wanted to hear my voice. That made me happy. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, and something that made me happy was yesterday, the kids both went to bed, hallelujah, on time. It's been a while. And my husband and I just sat on the couch and we just talked. Oh, that was the best. It was like 2 hours, 3 hours of just talking and snuggling and being stupid. And it was awesome. You ever just like to be stupid?
That's great.
Can I give 2 more things?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, you're cut off. You're not allowed to be happy anymore.
Okay, so number 1, my porter, who we were getting behavioral reports for every single day, long, like she must have spent 45 minutes writing these things up every day, and we were getting those every day until we moved into this place. And this week I got 2 days where he was so good that she had to write it down. So, and that's number 1. Then number 2 is I have that radically healthy community, and I really wanted to give people something they could work with. And so I manually made this journal that you could print with 28 days of meal plans that have short, tall, dairy-free, not dairy-free, and 2 workouts per week. They're both a version in the gym or at home. And I manually put this into this journal, and I worked on this for weeks, and I got it done on Saturday. It's like, whew, have mercy.
Good for you. I did see a post that was ready to go, and I thought, wow, Adrian's really working hard.
Butt off.
Yeah, you did. I could tell just by reading the description of everything you had in there. That was cool. Ellie, I would like to say that I save all my getting stupid for my kids in my classroom. We have the best time just telling each other silly things and just, that's just something fun I do with my students. But people in the chat are putting in their happy things. Josephine is getting a new phone. Don't you love that new phone feeling? I know I do. It's great. And Nia's happy moment is watching her little booger kick butt in Taekwondo. I didn't know she did Taekwondo, Nia. That's amazing. That is amazing.
She's so cute.
Yeah, I can totally picture her doing that. And I remember my kids did karate. I remember going to watch them do that. That was so fun when they were younger. So thanks you guys for sharing your happy moments with us. Adrian, are we ready to?
Oh, that's me. All right, everybody. Hey, Ellie, since I'm on my phone, can you keep pushing the buttons? Yeah. All right, everybody, get your roars ready. All right. 3, 2, 1.
I wish I could just spin.
I forgot to type a roar. I'm going to type a roar. I forgot to type a roar.
When we were on a cruise ship recently, our waiter, he would touch the food and he'd spin the plate and go, wow, wow. And so that's the big thing we all do is we spin everything and say, wow.
All right, let's get these. I kind of missed half of what you said. I'm sorry.
Happy Pixel Fan Roar. Thank you, Bruce. Yes, she showed her face one time this week. Just once, but a bunch last week. Roar. Thank you. All right, Barb. That's awesome. And happy birthday, Aaron. Birthday. Happy birthday. I love that.
May you get 10 picanhas.
Yes. That's my line.
We all piggyback off each other.
Well, I'm the picanha secretary, so
that's right.
True.
You are
waving my badge right now.
We never got our shirts or whatever with our picanha stuff on it. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning into us this week. We hope you enjoyed this roundtable discussion. I know I always enjoy them, and we are planning on doing this for the month of May. So there will be 3 more weeks of this roundtable format. We hope you're enjoying. So tune in next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, also known as 8 p.m. Eastern, and we will have another excellent roundtable discussion for you then. Good night, everyone.
Bye.